Today, we're diving into one of the most profound stories from the Mahabharata. It's a tale of wisdom, incredible courage, and a character so pure that he was, quite literally, a god living a human life. This is the story of Vidura.
I mean, it sounds like the plot of a Hollywood blockbuster, right? But this very question is the wild starting point for our story. It's the extraordinary origin of one of the wisest figures you'll ever encounter in epic literature. So how on earth did a god end up here?
All right, to really get who Vidura is, we have to travel back in time, way before his birth, to his previous life as a very powerful god. Because this is where a single, fateful mistake kicks off an absolutely incredible destiny.
So here's how it all went down. You've got Yamaraja, the cosmic god of justice, who followed the rules of Dharma to the letter. But he made one huge miscalculation when dealing with a sage named Mandavya. The sage felt the punishment was totally unjust, and in his anger, he hit Yamaraja with a powerful curse. You will be born as a mortal. And Yamaraja's reaction? Wow, no anger, no arguing. He just humbly accepted his fate, seeing it as a chance to teach humanity about Dharma from the inside. And just like that, Yamaraja is born on Earth as the man we come to know as Vidura. So let's see how his divine nature starts to shine right through his very humble beginnings. And this right here, this comparison, is the absolute core of his identity. Just look at the contrast. On one side, you see his worldly status is, well, pretty low. He's the son of a maidservant with a secondary role in the royal court. But then you look at the other side and you see who he really is. Wise, truthful, pure. His greatness had nothing to do with his title or his birthright. It came from the divine character that was inside him all along. And you know what? It didn't take long for people to notice. His wisdom was undeniable. He quickly became the prime minister and the most trusted advisor to the blind king, Dhritarashtra. In a court that was just swimming with politics and backstabbing, Vidura was the one constant, unwavering voice of Dharma and truth. But, as we all know, speaking truth to power is never easy. And this next chapter of his life would put his courage to the test in the most extreme ways, forcing him to stand up against the very family he was there to serve. Over and over again, Vidura warned King Dhritarashtra about the toxic, destructive path his son, Duryodhana, was headed down. He begged the king to see the danger his son posed, but his advice was just tragically ignored, completely lost in the king's blind affection for his son. Okay, this is the moment where Vidura's quiet courage turns into heroic action. Duryodhana comes up with this truly twisted plan. He's going to trap his cousins, the Pandavas, in a house made of super flammable wax and burn them alive. But Vidura finds out about the plot. Now, he doesn't just run in screaming, which would have been useless. He's smart about it. He secretly warns the Pandavas and arranges for an escape tunnel to be built. He literally saves their lives. But you can only fight a battle like that from the inside for so long, you know? A huge confrontation was building up, and it was going to lead Vidura to make a decision that would change his entire life. So Vidura decides to make one last passionate plea for sanity. He speaks the hard truth, knowing it's what the kingdom needs to hear, even if he knows nobody really wants to listen. And this time, his wisdom isn't just ignored, it's met with pure venom. Duryodhana just loses it, completely enraged. He doesn't just disagree, he gets nasty. He attacks Vidura personally, using his humble birth as a weapon to try and humiliate him in front of the entire court. And what does Vidura do in response to this vicious attack? Does he fight back, yell, defend himself? Nope. He simply breaks his bow, the symbol of his service to the throne, and walks out of the palace. In complete silence. You know, that quiet act, totally free from anger, showed way more strength than any angry words ever could have. Now, free from all that political drama, Vidura starts a brand new journey, a spiritual one. He travels all over the land as a pilgrim, visiting holy sites, spending time with saints, and dedicating himself completely to his devotion to Lord Krishna. It was a journey of healing, of purifying his heart. And this next part is just beautiful. It's when Lord Krishna himself visits the kingdom. Now, you'd think he'd go straight to the palace, right, where Duryodhana has this huge, lavish feast all prepared. But no, Krishna bypasses the palace entirely and goes straight to Vidura's simple, humble hut. This one act sent a message that still rings true today. Real love and true devotion are worth so much more than all the wealth and power in the world. So, After living this incredible life of truth, courage, and devotion, Vidura left behind a legacy of wisdom that people still study. Let's take a look at the core of what he taught. The collection of all his teachings and ethical advice is known as the Vidura Niti. You can basically think of it as a practical guide, a playbook, really, for how to live a life of integrity, wisdom, and purpose, all based on the principles of Dharma. And at the heart of the Vidura Niti, you'll find these 4 pillars. Truth, which he spoke even when it was dangerous. Detachment from things like power and praise. Kindness to absolutely everyone. And, of course, that incredible self-control, which was probably his greatest strength. These weren't just ideas to him. They were how he lived his life. And so, the story comes full circle. After living a perfect life of Dharma here on Earth, fulfilling the purpose of that ancient curse, Vidura sheds his human form and merges back into his divine identity as Yamaraja, the Lord of Justice. His work on Earth was complete. So, what are the big takeaways for us from this incredible journey? Well, his story really teaches us about justice, to always be fair, about truth, to speak honestly, even when it's tough, about humility, to stay simple, about courage, to find that strength to stand for what's right, and finally, about devotion, to love deeply and purely. Ultimately, I think this is the real message of Vidura's life. It's such a powerful reminder that true strength doesn't come from your position or your power, but from your character. In the end, it's integrity, truth, and a humble heart that are the qualities that really, truly last.